Good morning, everyone. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things, but my grandson, we had a big scare um, early this morning. Um, he woke up choking so bad, he couldn't get his air. We had to call the uh, emergency people because my grandson couldn't get air. It was so frightening. I've never experienced anything like that before. And so we called 911 and they came and they took him to the hospital and they gave him a steroid shot immediately. He has a virus um, that is croup, is what they said. And the shot doesn't work right away. It takes a couple hours. So they kept him a couple hours and then it lasts up to 3 days. But he was closing his airway. It was so frightening. His mother even got up. I mean, she's like, "What's wrong?" And I don't know him, but he can't catch his breath. He's suffocating. It was frightening. I hope I never have to go through that again. So, but I noticed right away um, the pain in my head. Like it was like splatter pain, and so it's the same kind of stress I had on that last job. But what I noticed was what I've been noticing in my brain on the right side in this area. Um, when I went to when I made that video, think before you do. I got real heavy and like I lost everything in my body because I've never defended myself before, and I was fed up, right? So I did post it and then I took it off. And what happened was I waited a day or so. And so it's strange because when someone talks negative about that gaslighter to me, like they're telling me how bad he was and how evil he is, my brain literally pulls, like it's pulsing when it just keeps pulsing. But when I went back to repost it, the front right here on my right side was like pulling, like something was pulling on my brain. So there are affecting my brain is affected by all this abuse, and I've been noticing little things. But this one side right here, it's like pulses. It's like pulsing with that negativity. You know, I've been praying. I got up right after they took my grandbaby to the hospital, him and his mother. I started hearing Psalms 91. So I've been hearing it most of the day. You know, it's only 9:37 right now, a.m. And it's just weird. Anyone that talks real negative, because he is a very negative person. I think there's way more in there than I realized. What he did, the damage, the pulse is just horrific. And I'm tensing up and I'm stressing. And I think about that too. With that job, I'm trying to figure out a way to heal my brain. I think my brain is overstressed, and I'm really not sure what to do about that. I don't know, but I want to share that because it's probably stress that's causing it, but I really notice it when when anything's talked about him. So there was a guy I worked for, um, and he was rich. He was a real high um, in that area, and he had a tattoo on his forearm. Um, and he told me, but he believed in Jesus Christ. I never judged him, but he would come and see me through astral travel, and I would cut him off. I don't allow anyone to do that to me. I've had a couple people try to do it. Absolutely not. I won't allow it because I want to be awake. If you have something to say, you can say it to my face. You know what I mean? You don't have to be doing that crap. I don't like that. So I have a block for that. I don't allow it. Um, so long story short, I did a lot of things. There was a lot of things that needed to be done there, and he would always reward me. But when I left that job, anytime I would mention his name, I would see his face. It was creepy. So I would not talk about it. But I'm talking about it now because he wasn't mean to me or anything, but I don't know why he would try to come speak to me that way. And it was just strange. I almost felt like I think he was trying to like isolate me um, for my own protection. That's how I want to put it. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain that, but I didn't allow it. And he had a conversation with me once, and I didn't like that either. It was totally a violation of my privacy or my boundaries, and I told him to. But so right before I had to leave that job, I started like 3 months. Um, I would fall asleep. Like as soon as I got to the door, that's how I knew it was time for me to leave that place. I couldn't stay awake. I'd be all, I had to take a bus there. It took me 2 hours. And as soon as the door was unlocked, I was fighting to stay awake. I mean, fighting. And it was strange. But there was another man working for us at the time too. He left about a week before I did, and he had a drinking problem. And with that guy, every time he came around, I felt like my knees were on the ground. I mean, my legs all the way up to my the middle of my thigh. I mean, the middle of my shin. Um, I was in the ground, and I knew he was drinking. But I spoke to him. I treated him real good, everything. But a lot of the people that we were friends from a long time ago, he had mental illness too, and no. But he's a human being. You have no right to mistreat him because you don't like something he may say or he does. But nobody knew he was drinking but me. So what happened was I kept running into him in stores, and he would run and hide beer. So I had a long talk with him one day, um, that if he got in a wreck, the company was responsible. And if you killed somebody, it's going to ruin the company. So um, I reported it to my boss. He said, "How do you know? Do you have proof?" You know what I mean? But I was looking out for the safety of the company. So what happened was after we had that conversation, me and that man, he called in that day. The next day he came in and he came clean. So, and then I gave my two weeks notice because I couldn't stand it anymore. And I was eating onion and garlic. I thought I could, make that go away. That cancer. I thought it would like shrink it. But that you have to start real early with that one. But I just wanted to share like because even when I talk about him, I'm not seeing his face now because that was years ago. He's probably moved way on, hopefully. Um, but it's just like throbbing. It's just throbbing. Boom, boom, boom. Never had that before. I think it's just because it's so overwhelming. What happened with the company also opened my eyes about what was really going on in my whole family and friends, and my whole life's upside down right now because I don't want those people in my life. In my life. I keep telling myself, breathe. Just so I can relax. But it's really hard to relax right now. There's so much going on. And also, too, um, when I went to the hospital last week, they gave me a shot of something. And it only worked for like 24 hours, but I think I need something else. But I don't like medication. My mother, when I was a little girl, told me as long as I can remember, if you take pills, you're gonna die. So even when I'm having to take antibiotics, dude, I'm frightened. I have a real phobia of anything that's in pill form. Anything. I mean, even if it's dust, no. And you know, I literally have to sit in a doctor's office to take. I'll go get the prescription. I'll go to the doctor's office and take my pill. So if anything happens to me, they're gonna give me help right away. And I'm allergic to like 50% of antibiotics on the planet. I'm so sensitive to a lot, and it's just frightening. I mean, could you imagine walking around in my shoes? I'm getting better over the years, but oh my god, it was hell. My mother would tell me, "Take that medication; it's gonna save your life." Blah blah blah, and I'd be like, "Oh, I can't do it, mom." You know what I mean? But I don't think my mom understood the effects of it. That it would carry on the rest of my whole life, but it kept me alive. I'm still living. Um, there was something else. The reason why I'm sharing this, there was another purpose for that. Father showed it to me. Um, so what happened to? It's kind of strange. So I have allergic antibiotics to a lot of antibiotics, but like every so many years, I can go back and take an antibiotic I could take when I was a kid. So I don't know if they changed the ingredients. I mean, I know they're getting better with certain things, especially with antibiotics, pain medications, and stuff like that. And I don't touch pain medication at all. No. I deal with my pain. I have a real high tolerance in pain. When I had all this done, it was Benadryl. Period. It. Breathe. So the whole point of these videos was to record my healing process, what I'm going through, how I'm feeling. Um, there's that pulse again. This time it's all the way across here. Um, the, the point of it is to heal, and I'm hoping it will help heal others as well. I think that recording healing process is beneficial to others. Um, uh, I should have done that with my breast cancer because I went through 3 surgeries before they removed it, the right side. Um, I didn't. I was too busy living life. I didn't really understand, I think, what was going on with me during that time. So when my dad raised me, I was I, I'm female. I have male partners, but I wasn't raised female. I mean, I have that strong male counterpart in me, and so when things happened to me, it was never important. It's no big deal. Long ways from your heart. So that's how I live my life. I don't stress or worry about those things, but I do worry about future cancers because I've been through a lot in my lifetime. And I'm not afraid to die, but I want to prevent pain and suffering. And by having these anxieties and these pains in my head, they could be beneficial um, for future research. I've always wanted to donate my body to science, but my brain especially because I was born with speech impediment, or maybe I wasn't. Maybe it was just because of fear that I lived in. My God. Um, um, but I think I have a lot to offer. I really do. And I think the brain is really important. So when I learned how to, when I started reading, in one of my videos back, I did a program, no TV, no radio, for 6 weeks. I read over 900 books from 50 pages to 900 per book, 900 pages. So, but I also found when DNA first came out, because I was researching about my brain, because I wanted to know why I stuttered. I wanted to know why I had different emotions, and if I knew what I could learn about my brain, if I could change to become a non-stutterer. And that's all it took was my power back when somebody made fun of me, and he was educated. He was making my faces. People would make fun of me like that. They would do that to me all the time because I was struggling to get a word out. They would make fun of me. So, humiliation all my life until I went to Canada. And that's where I took my power back too. He was educated and he was making my faces back at me. said, I'm gonna let you get away with that one, but you do that again, I'm gonna take it personal. Then we're gonna have a problem. And he goes, oh, you stutter? You're educated, bro. You know I'm stuttering. Why are you making fun of me? And then the Lord called me a month later. I stood my ground. I'd had enough. You know what I mean? But it never, even though I was a stutter, I never ever shut up. I was still fighting to speak. So when I did, um, I learned about DNA, brain, how it works, how you train it. Um, I did a lot. Oh my gosh, dude, I spent at least 3 years studying because I wanted to know why. You know, I found out, after I've been healed, after the Lord, worked with me. Period. um, but I just, you know, if you think you're a beneficiary to donate parts of your body, good for you. But I don't believe in. So when I was in college, I did a study on people who die and they donate their organs. I don't think it was ever meant to be because when people accept those organs, they pick up habits they never had before. One lady, she had a headache all the time and she started smoking out of nowhere. But that headache was crazy for her, and it turned out that the guy died in a bar fight and he was shot in the head. She took one of his organs. So there was a lot of that. Um, that's what happens, when you take an organ from somebody. So I took myself off the organ list. Um, and my daughter, she has always never wanted to do that. So we don't have to worry about that. Um, but it's to each his own. I know it saves a lot of lives, but sometimes I wonder if we're. I don't think we're meant to do it because, um, but who knows, you know. But if the person's living and they donate a kidney, there's no issues with that. But it's just if they pass in a violent way. But I know that so many people are desperate to live that they'll take anything they can get, or they'll even go overseas to get that, and that's frightening how they get that. So if they go to India or any kind of foreign country, they'll put ads in the paper to give people jobs who would normally not get a good paying job. Um, and then when they show up to it, they knock them out with some kind of medicine, like a shot, or they'll like beat them to their unconscious, and they steal their organs. But it's a sin in India. It's absolutely, it's like way so deep under the table that if anybody finds out they've done that, they shun them from the villages. Um, so that's why I believe too that we're not supposed to be doing that, because if it has something to do with God in some way or in their beliefs. So so when you go overseas to do something like that, think about that. You can bring somebody's life, and they take it from them without asking, and they just leave them somewhere in an alley, with an organ missing. I think that's wrong. I don't like that at all. But I did a lot of studies on that as well. So I don't do that. That's just my opinion. Um, it's just kind of fascinating how I have all these different avenues of learning things. Um, and now going through this process because now my whole life has changed. I have to have a whole new life. It's like a spiritual new life, like a reborn. And my brain's fighting it. You know what I mean? Because abuse is abuse. A lot of people stay with it because they think they can't move on or they think they can't make it. I can't tell you how many times I've actually turned. I had to go back with nothing and start all over again. But I refuse to be mistreated. I absolutely refuse. Um, but when you're desperate and you need to pay your bills and help your daughter, um, help your own household, it's hard to say, okay, well, I'm just gonna quit. I have no way. I couldn't do it at that time. I couldn't. So I just wanted to share, um, If you wouldn't mind, if you could just pray for my grandson, it'd be really important. It'd be real good.